Mr. Amos Wekesa, who is under Colleen Masiga. Can he hear us? Amos, if you can hear us, try and unmute. Rowena, unmute Colleen.
Sorry, yes.
Yes.
I'm really yeah.
Yes.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, you don't need any introduction. Everyone knows who Mr. Amos Wekesa is, so I'll let you continue.
Oh, let me continue. Oh, thank you so much for hosting this. With all these very important people, I can see the Marcellas and the rest of the group. I've just enjoyed the last discussion. Thank you so much for trying to discuss the domestic tourism. I think domestic tourism has been at the center of my. I love domestic tourism. Of course, it's a very challenging area, but I think we are going to see a lot of mindset change. And as far as the Ugandan population is concerned, I remember I was having a chat recently with Marcella, and I was saying, you must be hosting more Ugandans than Muzungus. But when one Muzungu comes, everyone concentrates on the Muzungu and thinks that's the most important client. And yet, the truth is that a place like Congo would be hosting more tourists, more local tourists. It's hosting more local tourists than we are. Now, for us as a business, the truth is that we've been hosting more foreign tourists than we have been hosting Ugandans. But during specific times like April, and especially after the Easter weekends, and then Independence, Christmas time, we host a lot of Ugandans, and they seem to enjoy themselves, especially specifically at Simba Safari Camp. Now, for Elephant Plains, fairly new, mainly foreign tourists coming there. There are fewer rooms. We have about 10, nice rooms, and we have been charging over $400, and that has not been going well with Ugandans. A lot of them would want $50 for such a room, so it doesn't make a lot of financial sense. As we speak right now, we are seeing that there's a lot of opportunities coming up. 220,000 Ugandans who have been going to Kenya every single year, spending between $1,500 and $2,000, have to be convinced the same amount of money has to be spent in Uganda. We have about 36,000 Ugandans that go to Dubai every single year. Those must be convinced. We have about 31,000 to South Africa and about 10,000 to Zanzibar. Now, that is countries whose statistics I have an idea about. But of course, those places have had a proper marketing strategy of focusing on Ugandan market that should go there. Now, the idea for me, what I think is that about 40% of those people will definitely not have opportunities in terms of jobs because they've lost their jobs. But there will be a 60% of those people. 60% is still a very big number if they decided to travel around Uganda and spend the same amount of money within Uganda. Yeah. Thankfully, of course, the total tourism industry has decided that we are, especially those hotel owners, we have decided that we are all going to put rates that will attract Ugandans. As a business, we have decided to close until August, and then we start pushing for a campaign. But looks like we're going to start pushing a campaign towards mid-June, and we've started already doing our flyers and engaging the Ugandans in as far as that. But before we do that, we're engaging trainers to be able to train our people in regarding to improving the service, but also dealing with the current situation of coronavirus. The truth is that we've gone through a period of corona-like virus, which is Ebola, and we've been at the epicenter specifically for Simba Safari Camp, where Kasese had a lot of suspected cases of Ebola during the time. Now, that said, we have a few guys that are going to come in, but are going to be training our people in as far as the protocols of coronavirus are concerned right now. When it comes to places like Elephant Plains has rooms which are about 30 meters away from each other. It's not a very big problem because we're thinking that service will be happening in people's verandas at their rooms, and we're going to avoid a lot of people hanging out around the main area. We're also going to be doing a lot of online payments. We are going to make sure that every place has got sanitizers. We'll make sure that the door handles, places like door handles are the ones that cause a lot of problems, by the way. Door handles, there'll be someone, cleaning every time, such that there is no problem of spraying, not necessarily cleaning using the hands, but spraying. Laura, I'm supposed to be speaking for 10 minutes, isn't it?
Yes, actually, let me ask you the questions I wanted to ask.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was enjoying listening to you. You actually already, haven't you seen me busy ticking off? You've been answering some of them. So.
I love talking.
I know. So one of my first question, right, is, I think you've really answered this in a nutshell, is what is Uganda Lodges doing?
Pardon?
What is Uganda Lodges Limited? What are your lodges doing to encourage domestic tourism? And I ask this because, like you said, most Ugandans believe that lodges in general or hotels, resorts here have been tailored towards the foreign tourist, that you haven't been speaking to the Ugandan traveler. If you believe you've been doing this, then it means that your communication hasn't been coming out right. And when I say your communication, I mean Simba, Elephant Plains, what are the other two? Simba,
Private Lodge, Budongo Eco Lodge.
Yes, and Budongo Eco Lodge. That either the communication hasn't come out clearly, right? Speaking to, like we like saying sometimes, the muntu wawansi, the muntu of here, the muturaji, as I would say in my language, the person of Uganda. Yeah. So I believe this is the time to start speaking to them. And so that is what I'm asking, that what is Uganda Lodges doing to encourage this, in your opinion?
One, the thing is that you must understand your market when you're investing. You don't invest for every market.
Yeah.
Of course, the challenge when it comes to Uganda is that people don't understand why I will charge $50 at Simba Safari Camp and charge $400 at Elephant Plains.
Yeah.
The other thing that we also need to know is that Ugandans are not necessarily people who like primate-oriented tourism experiences. Primate-oriented tourism experiences, the gorilla trekking, the chimpanzee trekking. Now, if you see two of our lodges, Budongo Eco Lodge and Primate Lodge, in the chimpanzee areas, those I don't even expect that we'll have a lot of business from Ugandans anytime soon, because it's not their area. A lot of Ugandans would love to go to savannah-based national parks like Kidepo, Queen Elizabeth National Park, Murchison Falls. It will be very difficult to engage them to go to Chibale National Park to do the chimpanzee trekking, or maybe we go to swamps, because we feel that these primates, a lot of Ugandans, when they've seen olive baboons in Bustema, they will think they've seen the gorillas. So it's very difficult to convince them those are not gorillas.
It's like a gorilla is just maybe a bit bigger, and that's it, but same. Yeah.
Put a lot of emphasis in trying to market to Ugandans, but also it's also because of the thinking that Ugandans. We must also know that the least tourism in this country happens in national parks. The majority, the biggest amount of tourism happens around Kampala, Mbarara, Kabale, places like Mbale, Gulu, Arua. That's where real tourism business actually happens, because of the definition that tourism is. A local tourist is someone who leaves place A, goes to place B, spends over 24 hours and less than a year, and must not have a permanent job. So if you go to Kabale, you go to Mbarara, you go to Soroti, you go to Mbale, you're actually a local tourist, and that's where the majority of the rooms are. And so Uganda saying that rooms are expensive for them is actually wrong, because all these places have very affordable accommodations in many ways.
Okay. So, what you said is true. They say most of us have actually traveled to Uganda as tourists, but we don't call it tourism because we feel like we haven't seen a gorilla and things like that. Yet most of us have traveled for either weddings, and while we're there, we go try out the restaurants and whatever else there is to do in that particular town. So, just to understand Uganda Lodges better, I want to just ask brief questions. What is your most, when Laura is broke, but she really wants to go away for the weekend, where does she go? What's your most affordable lodge or hotel or resort?
It is Simba Safari Camp. I think I've had one of the people here as my guest. This one, Marcella, you've been there as a local tourist. So there's evidence that is that people actually travel there. So it's Simba is most affordable, but at the same time, it's set in a way that families can enjoy. The rooms that of families. I think Marcella, you came with your family. It's really good for the families. Very nice food, of course. There is a nice chef. People enjoy the ambience, the trees in the area, and it's also accessible. You know, it touches the main road, which is a way to Buera, which is good. Okay. Yeah, the rest, two of them are very remote. Yeah.
Speaking of affordable, can one go camping at any of your lodges? Can I go with my tent?
No, camping can only happen at Simba Safari Camp. The rest of the places, the thing is that, like I said, when you're doing tourism, you have to target who your clients are.
Yeah.
Elephant Plains is for a certain class of people. People who pay $400 and above normally don't want to mix with people who pay $5. Yeah. So it's not our interest to say that, but it's true. If you pay someone who pays $100, it feels like, why should I be hanging out with the guy who's paying $1? And it becomes a problem. Yeah, it's a fact.
So you've answered that the most affordable is Simba, and Marcella noted. When I said, when I'm broke, where do I go? Your name was mentioned. Noted, you're broke. So if I'm going with my family, what are the options I have? If I want to go with my son, and my son is extremely active, he will want to do a lot of things and not be bored. So where would I go?
Yeah, it depends on how experienced a tourist you are. I think Simba, Elephant Plains would be a good place for you. Why? You'll be able to do a few things that a young kid will be happy to do. A game drive will give him a chance to see the elephants, the buffaloes, be able to see the lions. These are things that thrill the young people. And then also doing a boat cruise. And by the way, don't forget, we have probably the best cruise boat in the country right now, MV Kazinga, which is actually cheap. It's not very expensive to board that one, which you do a bit of the islands and then of course the other wildlife. Then you can do a bit of hiking. A lot of Ugandan operators, ourselves, we assume that every tourist wants to come and sit in the car and be able to see, to enjoy it in the car. But a lot of people want active holders like yourselves. So you'll be able to go and see the salt lakes. You can go to Maramagambo Forest, you can go to Kalinzu, you can go to Chambura, you can go to visit local communities around Katwe area. There's a lot of stuff you can do in that area. A lot of our tourists also come and participate, especially to come with families, foreigners. They go and, children have a chance to attend a lesson in one of the village schools or participate in the making of crafts with the women in the Chikorongo. That's
okay. And then if I want to go with my partner, if I were a guy, let's not use me. If I were a guy and I wanted to propose to my long-term girlfriend, which of your lodges would I go to that has the best view and where I'll just feel like, you understand? So which one of your lodges is the best for couples?
No, Elephant Plains out of this world. Not when you're marketing, you don't actually target the men, because the men are if you're targeting a man, you're going to have very few tourists coming your way.
No, I was about to say that if I wanted to propose, but then I thought that would sound wrong. So I had to,
No. They do. Women do propose. Actually, the people that propose destinations are either children. When they have seen something they like, they go to the parent and the mother and say, we want to go and see the elephants, we want to see the lion, or the wife. When you see adverts on TV, it's always a woman looking at this, a fantastic view, enjoying herself. The reason they do that is because the woman makes the biggest decision in traveling for experiences.
Okay, so Elephant Plains it is. Noted.
So the wedding proposal is Elephant Plains in short, but you have to save.
Yes. Well, if you're going to propose, it has to be special, and the guy or the lady has to save.
No, but that's not what happens here. In Uganda, the most unfortunate thing about Uganda is that the majority of the people want to wake up and be able to spend.
Okay.
They don't know that people in the West, I can tell you that by February when we were starting business, people were already booking for 2023. People think about their trips 4 or 5 years in advance.
Yeah.
You know, they put money together. Now, we need to teach Ugandans that, yes, you need to put money together. I want to go to Queen Elizabeth National Park in December. I want to go to Mbarara and stay at Igongo. I need to start saving now. By December, I have enough money to do this kind of activities. I want to go to Ukabali and stay at Lake Bunyonyi, Bunyonyi place. I need to save in advance,
Yeah. And then my last question, if I'll speak as Travaneza, if we're organizing a team building for a company, so let's say 25 people, they want to have an evening bonfire, team building activities, you can pick, group activities basically. Which lodge of yours would you recommend?
It's both Simba Safari Camp and Elephant Plains.
Okay.
It depends on which team building you're talking about. I've hosted, say, for example, World Bank representatives across Africa. For those ones, enjoy an environment that is, like tropical rainforest, like Chibale National Park is. But like I said, the majority of Ugandans would like fairly active and place where they can see TV in the evening, watch their match. In fact, the only place where we have a place where you can watch your TV is Simba Safari Camp. So they would love that in the evenings. And also the sitting for those who are like drinking, the activities on the boat, and activities like I mentioned earlier on within the protected area called Queen Elizabeth National Park.
Okay. My last question will then be on pricing. You don't have to tell us the prices now, but are you working on special promotional prices post-lockdown, bearing in mind that everything has been tight?
Yeah. And I can tell you it's not a secret. For Simba Safari Camp, we're doing a drive of 2 nights. People spending 250,000 shillings, but that is sharing. We're expecting that people can stay 2 of them in a room and they'll be able to pay 500,000 shillings for 2 nights on full board. And then for Elephant Plains, we're doing a minimum of 380,000 shillings per night because it's well crafted, and we're doing the same for Primate Lodge, and we'll be doing about 300,000 for Budonga Eco Lodge, that is Martin Falls National Park. Okay,
that's really good to hear because, like I said, a lot of the people's posts and everything has been about how you're only targeting the tourists and you don't have prices suitable for the Ugandan traveler. But $250 per person for 2 nights, including all meals. And you all know that meals in restaurants or lodges don't come cheap. They put in a lot of effort. And yes, so 250,000 for 2 nights is not bad at all. That's very good. And
no, but Laura, let me give you an example, yeah? Ugandans just complain. A Ugandan spends, and by the way, 250,000. It's not $250 for Simba Safari Camp. Ugandans must know. A Ugandan will go and have Javas. I will go for breakfast at Javas and spend 25,000. He goes for lunch, spends another 40,000. He goes for dinner somewhere, he spends 100,000. By the time they finish food, they're over 100,000 shillings. Now, if I tell the same Ugandan, you're going to sleep for a night and you pay 125,000 shillings, you will have 3 meals, and we give a 3-course menu. Marcella, tell these guys about those course menus. You start with your soup, you have your what, we pamper you, what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So you guys must not have this confession of saying, but also you guys must change the way they think, Laura, because when you're Ugandan and you're invested in Uganda, Ugandans feel that you think your places should be free. No. Marcella, we should refuse these people. It's not a right thing, and
I agree.
We should not refuse.
I agree, Amos. I agree.
Yeah, she has been telling me the same thing.
Yeah.
So, just before you go, so if someone is spending 250,000 Uganda shillings for 2 nights, the game drives. How much is a game drive for a Ugandan?
A park entrance for an adult is about 20,000.
Yeah.
The boat trip is about 25,000, which is about 2 hours. Car entry is 30,000 for every 24 hours. So basically, then maybe the another expensive thing would be the ranger. So if you want to do a game drive and you need a ranger, it will cost you about $20, which is about 70,000. So it's not as expensive as you think.
Okay.
Go and spend in a bar in an evening.
Yes. Thank you very, very much, Amos. In summary, what you've told us is you are ready for the Ugandan market. You have pricing suitable for them, actually very, very good. And you've shown us that it's not expensive. And remember that you can actually save up for this or pay in months in installments and things like that. So you don't have to just wake up and decide, on Friday, you decide on Saturday you're going. No. As long as it's planned for, it's actually more affordable. We now understand what's unique about each of the lodges under Uganda Lodges. Like I said, where I want to go with a partner, family, or, that kind of thing. So we'll know exactly what to plan for. And thank you very much for giving us that insight, Amos.